What's good, guys? On my MacBook Pro again, doing another video for you guys. And as you saw in the thumbnail, we're going to be looking at a presentation of a game that is been pretty addicting for me. So let's jump right into it on a 1, 2, 3 counts. When I snap on the count of 3, the presentation will begin. 1, 2, 3. 3. 3. Weird, nothing's happening. Maybe yes. There it is. The presentation that we're going to be covering. High school story. And yes, this game is so addicting if you play it. The characters are unbelievably amazing. Most of them, yes. I have unlocked most of these characters as I'm on level 15 right now, but before we do that, let's jump into the presentation. This is just a beautiful picture, though, of all the characters. I know all of them. So this is Julian, this is Mia, this is Callie, this is Peyton, this is Ko. I haven't unlocked Ko yet. This is Catherine. I haven't unlocked Catherine yet. Nishan, Sakura, Wes, Autumn, Ezra. And then this girl, I made her a class president. You're going to see her later in this PowerPoints. Her name is Elena, so keep an eye on that. So, my high school is called Arya Valley High School in Los Angeles. It's in northern Los Angeles off Highway 210. Just pretend that. It's not real. The game's not real, but it's like a simulator. So, the address is like on your left, and it's like in an area where there's nothing going on. It's like in a landfill area off Lopez Canyon Road. So like, it's like in a landfill. If you see that area, you see there's like a landfill. Now we know why Max Warren and Kara Sinclair pick on us. Max Warren, that idiot's white guy, and the B word white girl cheerleader Kara Sinclair. They pick on us all the time, and I get so pissed off. My own character gets pissed off. But don't worry, we'll teach them who's boss. With a school like this, it will outsmart Hearst High. That's where they go to, Hearst High School. So, let's jump in to the table of contents. So, yes, things are going to change once in a while since I'm still progressing through the game. I'm still on level 15. More students are going to come, but I'm going to show you these students that I have so far. So, here we go. So first, we're going to cover my character, aka the MC, and other main characters that you've seen in the background picture. The first slide of this presentation had all the main characters. So here we go. This is my character. Now, I'm not going to read the fun facts or personality traits and all this stuff. You could pause the video yourself and read it on your own time, since there's a lot of characters. There's like 95-ish people that we're going to be covering, including mine. So I don't want to read through all the information and make this video longer. So you can pause it for yourself. So this is my character. I look pretty handsome. I can't say that. And just because I recently graduated, I'm currently wearing this graduation fit that I have right here. All right, character 1 out of the way. Then you have Julian. And then Peyton, she's the first prep to ever be in our school besides Arya, well, my character. I can't say third person. And then Nishan, the smartest kid out there. He has a big heart, definitely. And then Autumn Brooks. She's a Navajo Native American, and she was like one of the first friends I've met in this high school. Well, I've had a lot of friends in real life, but in this high school, this is the first friend I made. Here's Ezra. He's a musician, and he's a rock musician, and I love rock music. Respect to Ezra. And then Wes Porter, the Canadian slacker. He's a cool guy. I like him. Mia Warren. She was mean with us at first, but then realized that it was the right decision to transfer to our school. Mia Warren is the sister of Max Warren. I don't know how to say it. I want to cuss at Max Warren so bad. He's an idiot white guy. This girl right here, she's a good girl. She's a nice girl, yes. Nothing more to say after that. And then Sakura Watanabe. I think that's her last name. She's a Japanese, and she's a gamer. And then this one I haven't unlocked yet. I haven't unlocked her yet, but I included her in here because I'm going to unlock her soon. Callie. So Callie is a writer. She's a shy but sweet girl because she was homeschooled by her parents. Now, I might unlock more of these characters in the future, such as maybe Ko or Catherine. I showed you Ko and Catherine earlier. Ko is that thigh girl, the thigh rebel girl, and Catherine is the cute emo girl. So, yeah, as I said, I'm already on level 15 currently. Now, here are some all-star characters I've unlocked, such as Beckett. Beckett's a quiet but friendly young gentleman. He's a wallflower. That's what wallflowers are. They're like silent people, but they get along well. And the other all-star I unlocked was Shane. Shane is a African Filipino guy. I mean, high school story wiki did not reveal his nationality. So I'll just say he's like Filipino because he looks Filipino in my opinion, and African because he looks African. But he has an American accent. And he's a nice guy. I like him. Now, next section. The section you've been waiting for. The students that have admitted to my high school. You'll love to see their faces. So, the first character we're seeing is my brother, Parsa. And in real life, I do have a brother named Parsa. And I wanted to include him in my high school. In reality, he's 4 years younger than me. I'm 17 right now. So, yeah, he's a prep, just like these next few characters you're seeing. Such as this pretty Persian girl, Roya. I pretend she's my sister. I wish I had a sister. Makes me sad. And then you have my cousin. I just pretend she's my cousin in high school, even though she's actually not in America currently. I do have a cousin in real life that's named Moral. I think that's how you say it, yeah. But yeah, she's also a prep. And then Saeed. He's another Persian. And he's also a prep. So all the preps that are Persian, who I have like relations with, they all like hang out in this one hangout right here. You see this background picture? This is like my high school right now. And this is the hangout that has all of them. I made it nice so people can stop by. And then Barbara. So we're just covering the preps now. Now we're going alphabetical order after we just covered all the preps from this hangout. So Barbara is a Caucasian of Italian descent. Now remember, you pause the video if you want to read the descriptions, like the fun facts and the traits and all that, because there's a lot of characters to cover. But Barbara is somewhat relatable to the Barbara in Wii Sports Club. If you watched my Wii Sports Club ranking video, maybe. Yeah, you know why she'd be related to this. And then she currently now wears a street style outfit because she's a prep and she wants to look good. So yeah. And then you have Danielle. She's a Filipino American girl. She's up for the good looks and styles. And then Gabriellen, aka Gabby. She's an African American. And she's very outgoing. That's all I know. I do have a friend in real life named Gabby. And then you have Jake. He's a Puerto Rican American. And he's all about the good looks. And he's dating Peyton. He's the one who's dating Peyton. And then Jennifer. This girl has an attitude, but She cares a lot about looks. So I admitted her into my school anyways. So why not just let the bad people in? She's not that bad though. She's all right. Jennifer, and then her boyfriend Joshua. He's also up for the good looks, but he's more friendlier than Jennifer. And then this girl, I have a crush on her. This is the girl I have a crush on in the high school game. She's a Mexican American girl named Monica. And Monica is my favorite Spanish name, regardless of any Spanish name you could come up with for a girl. It's my favorite Spanish name, Monica. Best Spanish name. That's why I wanted to make her pretty, so I can basically, look at her, right? I don't know. I'm just being weird now. And this is Monica's boyfriend, Armando. He's a jock, so we're covering the jocks now. He's a boxer, and he wants to be a boxer with a lot of weightlifting. So he weightlifts a lot. He lifts barbells over 50 pounds. He has an attitude, but he's mostly a nice guy just because he wants to learn from his girlfriend. His girlfriend's nice all the way. She never gets mad. And then he's a basketball superstar named Braden. So he's an athletic dude he's a flirting guy. And he's all about the good looks, but he's a jock. So he can get up for the athletics. He plays on the basketball team along with a few others. Also, Buddy. Buddy's on the basketball team. He's an African American, and he's dating a surfer girl. And he's one of those basketball players that has a big heart. He's that player that has sportsmanship. He's amazing. He's an amazing basketball player. The definition of a true athlete. Cassie, or Cassandra, she's a jock. She's a track and fielder. And she usually wears summer outfits like this when it comes to hot weather. She has a tan. Now you have Charlie. This is the very first jock I ever admitted to my high school. And the very first students out of anybody, basically, if you were to exclude the main characters and myself, he was the very first. And he's a Canadian American, and he's a very nice guy. And he is a very good soccer player. So here he is with his non-soccer fits. And here he is with his soccer fits. Looks pretty cool. At least in my opinion. Maybe you might think it's cool. He's a soccer guy. Not many people like soccer at my school, but Charlie's one of those guys who likes it. And then Chelsea. Chelsea's an American girl with an amazing style of beauty, and she's a long-legged one too. She basically is a track and fielder as a result of her having such long legs. She exercises almost every day, and many dudes at the high school look at her legs. Even myself. She doesn't mind, but I blush. And then Chris. Chris is dating Star, so yes, I read The Hate You Give. Spoiler alerts, Chris and Star date each other in the book and in the high school that I own. And he's also a hooper on the basketball team, along with Braden, Buddy, and a few others. And then this baddie, Jessica, she dates Charlie. She's a Brazilian American and a very good looking one too. And she always wants to stay in shape. The Alessandro Ambrosio of my high school. Literally. And then here he is with her jock fits. You can see her legs. Yep, just like Chelsea. Long legs. And then here's another hooper on the basketball team, Kenny. He doesn't wear the fits like Braden or Buddy does right now, but he is a very good basketball player, but he has a slight attitude, but I still admitted him in my school anyways. He's not a very good guy to like socialize with when it comes to like talking or something. He's a silent guy who lives his own life. As I said, he's a silent individual. But yeah, he's a very good basketball player. And then this baddie too, Kimia. She's a Persian. Yeah, that's a Persian name. I found out that's a Persian name. Kimia is dating a varsity guy named Ramin. He's also Persian. And she came to my school not only because she's Persian, but because there are other Persians at the school. And then you have this guy. If you play Wii Sports, here he is in High School Story. Matt. Matt from Wii Sports just ventured his way to Los Angeles to join my school. And he has, once again, that bald head and that true mentality of sports. He's a jock, and he's a very serious looking but kind-hearted athlete. And he's well known for being a boxing and swordplay champion. And then Chris's girlfriend, Star. She's a basketball player too. She's not wearing a basketball fit right now, but she's also that girl who's preppy and outgoing, and she wants to look good all the time. Just like Chris. Now we move on to the nerds. So, we start off with Jackie. Jackie is an intelligent student who isn't afraid of making mistakes when it comes to her success as a nerd. Any nerd has made mistakes in his or her life. Jackie has made a lot of mistakes, and she always learns from them. She's a bookworm, too. And here he is with her non-nerd fits. I gave her this heart fits. I don't know why, but I kind of felt like it went good with her. I don't know. Joel, he's a nerd, too. He's a very intelligent and humble student that usually likes to dress nice. And I have a friend in real life. His name is Joel too. And he's nerdy too, if I was to say. Joseph, he's a very smart guy. He's that type of person that always wants to have good grades, and he's a bookworm, and he's also a hooper. He's very friendly and outgoing too. He's a German, Portuguese, American guy. So here he is with his level 7 nerd fits. And then Mackenzie. Mackenzie is also one of those bookworms, but she'll never give up, just like Jackie, if it comes to getting good grades. This is Mackenzie's boyfriend, Stuart. Stuart is a Scottish guy, but he's a Caucasian, so this means he has an American accent. He's a summa cum laude student, meaning he has a 4.0 GPA. And he always wants to aim for those straight A's and will not give up to get one. And he wants to major in kinesiology. And his girlfriend, Mackenzie, wants to major in psychology. Stuart probably would like psychology too, but kinesiology is more of his favorite, in my opinion at least. Now let's move on to cheerleaders, such as Carlos. So, Carlos is a Spanish, Portuguese, but mostly American guy. Even though some may say he's like a full white guy, or maybe he was born in America. He actually was born in Spain, in my opinion. But he's a very handsome, funny, male cheerleader who's always looking to have some fun with his fellow team. And he has a girlfriend, too. And here's his fits. The cheerleader fits. Looks pretty good on him. He's also a basketball player, too, but he instead cheers the basketball team ever since he dated Gracie, his girlfriend. He's also one of the few LGBTQ students, just like Shane. I think if you paused Shane, you would have seen that description saying that. And then his brother Gary. Now Gary's one of the more underrated classmates at my school. But he's that person who just wants to get the love when he's cheering for the team. When he's with this team, he just feels like he's comfortable. So that's why I feel like he should have more respect, even though nobody knows him. And now Carlos's girlfriend, Gracie. She's a Bolivian American, but she's mostly American. She's a graceful cheerleader in her name. In her name, basically, with a lot of talents. And she's someone you can count on when you're feeling down. Like, she's a motivator. She's like a person who deals with people dealing with mental health, and she can always help those people who are in need. And yeah, she had a best friend, but she's attending another high school outside of LA. But she chose my school because the cheerleading squad consists of more men. Basically, a unique team, not because maybe she has a crush on all those men. Hope that isn't the case. And then we have this pretty girl right here, Olivia. She's a curly haired blonde girl with a big heart for everyone. Not just for her cheer team, but for everyone. Strangely enough, she doesn't have a boyfriend. So, she's single. Maybe someone will take her later. And here she is in her cheer fit as she comes on the right side. In her level 7 cheer fits. Let's move on to gamers, such as Derek. Derek was the first gamer to come to my school. He's a big brain gamer and he's very smart. And when he converses with people, he's very specific with details, such as like, I did this, I did that, instead of generalizing it. So yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just bad at explaining. I think I'm that person too. And he plays a ton of famous games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, he plays them on a PS5. And Among Us, he definitely has an imposter mindset. I kind of messed up on the transition for the jock and nerd sign right here. But either way, it's here. Irvin is a half Mexican, half American gamer. And he's that guy who has mutual friendships, meaning he makes friends online. And he's one of the more unseen guys at my school as a result. Just like, you could say Gary's an unseen guy, but he's seen more often in a way. And he plays Legends of Zelda and Supersonic games, and he plays Among Us and Valorant. And he sometimes challenges to Derek, but Derek usually wins in Among Us. But Irvin just always enjoys having fun instead of always winning. I messed up on the transition again. Come on. But here we are with a pretty Japanese girl, Yoko. Inspiring of the Wii Sports pretty girl, Yoko. Pretty older woman, maybe. I don't know. She's not that old. This one's young. She's a shy but sweet gamer girl. Why did I say gold? Sweet gamer girl, just like her close friends, who you're going to see in the next slide. She can be over competitive at times, too. As we know, Yoko is known to have competition in Wii Sports. She is also known to have competition in this game, maybe. In this game where she got admitted. She's a Nintendo fan. I think I forgot about Sakura. Oh, wait, no. Sakura was earlier. Damn, I forgot. Alright, so let's move on to Student Govs. So we start off with Student Gov Eleanor. There are 4 Student Govs at my school currently. And this Student Gov is a sweet and caring. She's sweet and caring, and she's always up for the task and any issues that arise her way. And she does not like divisions. She loves bringing people together. Wait, again? Why again? Oh man, I messed up. I was kind of rushing to make this presentation, so I might have made a few errors. You might see them once in a while, so keep an eye on that. So we move on to one of my favorite students at the school. He's a very nice African-American guy named Frederick. He's very smart and educated, and he's a very big-hearted gentleman. As all the girls who see him give him a sigh. Even his colleague, Samantha. We're going to see Samantha in the next slide. So, yeah, basically all the girls like him. And basically he helped every single homeless person in California. Especially in LA where there are a lot of them. And he's a true politician guy. So he isn't afraid to express any issues that are occurring or going on in the world. Then we have a foreigner named Jakob. He's a Czech Bosnian guy. And he's one of the few European descent student govs at the high school. He's a very educated and gentleman type person though. He speaks English well but has a strong accent. And then here's Samantha. She always loves seeing her good colleague friend Frederick. She's also African American and she's very sweet and charming. and she also knows a lot about what's happening in the school and locally today. And she's a huge sucker for marine biology. Like marine biology is just her. Like if she was to exclude politics, she'd love marine biology the best. Now let's move on to wallflowers. Well, there's only two other wallflowers besides Beckett's. He's an all-star wallflower. We have Jimmy. Jimmy is a humble young gentleman who's basically wanting to know secretly how others ace their classes because he's doing a good job with that, I must say. And he has a girlfriend, a mutual relationship maybe. They made friends mutually, then they met each other face to face, and they basically are together. And the girlfriend is white too. So, one of the more unique couples at my school. And then one I recently got, Sarah. She's a British wallflower. And she usually lives a single life. She has friends though. Basically Beckett and Jimmy. They talk with one another. Let's move on to painters, such as Autumn. We have Crystal. Crystal, she's a very great attitude and personality type person. And she's very experienced in the job. Like she can paint masterpieces. And this pretty girl right here, Gabby. She's a Caucasian, French, and German descent. And she's more professional in the paints. I wouldn't want to say more professional. Every painter has its own profession. Like, every painter just is good in their own ways. And she has a great sense of, like, fashion, too, to even make possible out of. So, she also is a painter, a very good painter, and she's a fashion girl. So, a fashionista, too. Now, dancers. Denise. She's an Aussie American. She's very sexy looking. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't want to go too deep into the idea. She's very sexy looking. And she used to be like one of the best dancers in the past before transferring to my school. She still is, though. And she's gotten even better when she transferred to my school to even begin with. And she has a YouTube channel, too, featuring her performances. She gets a lot of views on them. She's very positive, too. Isabella is her best friend. She's an instructor. She basically knows more than Denise, but Denise knows a lot. Isabella's an instructor at my school. She's basically like a student instructor for like the dance club. And she works closely with Denise, another dancer who recently transferred to my school. Now, the filmmakers. This is my guy, Jeff. He's one of my favorite Filmmaker students. Well, I only have two, but like one of my favorite film students. Like honestly, I like technology and I like video editing stuff and filming, etc., etc. I like filmmakers. They're cool. Jeff is my guy for that. He is a professional filmmaker who's willing to get along with whoever he seeks. He's very positive and happy, which is why I like him. He works closely with his partner, Tyrone, see him in the next slide, in the film club to put together video projects. And you see the video project description right there. Now here's Tyrone. He may not look like a Tyrone to you, but he is technically of Irish descent. He has 4 nationalities. Basically, he's just every nationality you could think of from every continent. He's a Puerto Rican, Peruvian, Thai, Irish, American guy. So his full name is Tyrone Javier Sunan Rodriguez. As you see here, there's like a fact that says that. He's one of the more combined race students at my school than any other student would be. And he's a very professional type filmmaker too, just like his buddy Jeff. Now actors, such as Chandler. Chandler, he's a young actor that became famous in Europe, and he has a well-mannered and great personality. And he recently got a girlfriend, Sandra, and he might have a strong accent, but he's perfect for English plays like Romeo and Juliet's. And this is my guy, Liam. Liam is also one of those underrated students, but he's a very kind, handsome, and caring individual who's willing to make all the girls blush, especially her hot girlfriend Miranda. And the two never miss out on an opportunity to participate in a school play. And they memorize their lines together and make the audience feel like they're actually a part of the setting. Here is Miranda. She is so pretty. She's an actress, a very kind-hearted and pretty attractive one too. But she can be highly emotional. She cries often. But she's very talented and she participates in the school play along with her good friend Sandra and her boyfriend. And she tears up immediately just by thinking about something horrendous, such as a shooting or an accident. She feels bad for people a lot. And this is Sandra, Chandler's girlfriend. I recently put them on a date, and they're now together. She's also attractive, just like any other actress or actor would be. And she participates in the school play along with the other actors and actresses. And now the one mascot at my school. Her real name is Kathy, but I call her Cats. Cat is the school mascot of my school. Even though we can't see her face as often, she's a kind-hearted human being. She always wants to impress her audience with amazement for her team. Now you can read the fun fact for yourself, but let's move on because remember, I think I just overread my idea of reading descriptions. Now I'm just reading them for you, so pause the video yourself. You know you can do that. And here's her without her mask on. So yeah, I made her look like that. Now James, he's one of the rarest students I've had in my school. He's a Caucasian of English descent, and he's a writer. The fact that he's rare, he works for top programs such as New York Times, or like he made a New York Times best-selling book about his personal life and how he met his girlfriend, Jenna. Jenna's a hot writer too. In the next slide, we'll see her. She's written a lot of fun stories and joke books, and he's also very kind and caring. And he plans to major in journalism or creative writing in Stanford. And the acceptance rate is 4%. So good luck with that, man. That's amazing. And this is Jenna. She's a Filipino American dating James. And she's also a very smart individual too. She was an English for Future Teachers and World Literature instructor for JLHS in the past, James Logan High School. Now she's an assistant instructor for Mr. Olson's English class. Mr. Olson is the English teacher in my school, Arya Valley High School. Yeah, that's the name of the high school. So that makes her a smart girl with a smart boyfriend. Yep, that's the way it goes. And then another writer I had was Maria. Maria, she's a Mexican. She was born in Mexico, but she speaks English well. She's very intelligent, and she enjoys writing articles for the school blog and even for her own blog. And now the one fast food student I had in my school was Karen. So Karen, she makes a lot of money at a nearby fast food restaurants. She's sweet, great to talk to, but is usually occupied. And she even pays $15 an hour along with her colleagues who want to participate in her job. And she gives away free food. So best of all, good luck with Karen if you want to work with her. Now let's move on to the musicians, such as Kayla. So Kayla, she's a rock star. Like, I respect you, Kayla. It's my favorite genre. I love hard rock. And, well, actually, hard rock of the classic rock variety, not like heavy metal. But I'm a Metallica guy, and their heavy metal song is just absolutely fuego. It's amazing. Amazing music. And her closest friends call her KK. And you can read the fun fact for yourself. Then we have one of her good friends, Emily. She's also a musician, and I recently got her. She has a passion for playing the electric guitar. But she cherishes playing the electric guitar. And she has a YouTube channel featuring her videos playing guitar solos. Some of her favorites guitar solos from Led Zeppelin and Metallica songs. And she and Kayla play together, and they have a blast. and she calls her KK for sure. Now we have Alex. He's a Glee students. They're also known as choir, so choir people basically. So he's one of those guys who love to bring joy to everyone. He's a very handsome, happy person, and an enthusiastic melody with his voice is what he has. So he and the other Glees went to a vacation in Europe to so many places, and it was a blast, especially because he enjoyed it with his Glee girlfriend, Leah, as we see right here. Leah. Alex and Leah. So, they're both Caucasian of French descent, and she's a very, very pretty girl. And she would love to make anybody's day happy with a little song. So, I definitely think this couple is very worth getting along. Perfect couple right there. And then we have Greg, or Gregory. I'll call him Greg. He's a Guyanese American, one of few South American guys at my school. He's a member of the marching band. He's the only march band student I currently have at my school, since I'm running low on space on admitting students and putting them in hangouts. So he used to be one of the best. He used to be a leader of one of the best marching bands in Guyana. Now he's ready to form a new band at my school. And he's making progress. It's been tough, but he's making progress. Then we have the DJ girl, Lisa. She's that type of girl who loves pumping up the energy in parties. And she's a cool friend to have, for sure. She does cool things with the DJ, too. She's actually a nerd, and man, I forgot. See, that's what happens when you rush. It's supposed to show like a calculator symbol right here, and then the music symbol. Nerd. She's a nerd and musician, so messed up. Then my guy, he's one of my favorite students at the school, Alan. So Alan, he's a slacker. He's the very first slacker to be admitted to my school besides Wes. Wes is a main character. Alan was the other slacker to be admitted. He's a very important student to have, since he's the only slacker besides Wes that I have. So basically, I have no other slacker. He's a very friendly and respectful attitude type person. And he's a skater, and he enjoys watching and playing sports. He's a huge fan of slushies. And he's one of my greatest friends, of course. And yes, he's the very first slacker to be admitted to the high school before Wes. And then Davian. And yes, I actually do have a friend in real life named Davian. He's also a skater, and he's also Filipino, Mexican, and American. Shout out to my boy Davian. You're one of my greatest friends I've met ever. And yes, that is true here. But what is not true is that I did not go to middle school with him in real life. He went to a different middle school than I did. But this Davian, just like the real life Davian, he's a very humble and outgoing individual who's not like any other skater. He has a big heart. So yeah, very similar personalities. I like making some of the students in real life appear in this game, so just brings memories to them. He's just one of the greatest friends I've met. And then Leonard. I also have a friend in real life named Leonard too. Well, he's one of Davian's closest friends. In this game specifically, and in real life too. He's a humble skater that's willing to show his skateboard skills to his fellow audience. He has an attitude though. Well, I mean, maybe not the one in real life, but this guy here, he's usually seen angry when he messes up a trick or when he's caught skating on school campus. I mean, it's obvious you can't skate on school campus. You're gonna get the principal mad and all that. So yeah. But he also has a website where he uploads cool skating videos, and he gets a lot of views from them. Now the Hipster Girls. I have two Hipster Girls. One of them is Priya. Priya is an Indian American. She's a quiet, pretty looking, and kind hipster teen girl. She's actually very pretty. I actually like her good looks. She has a good style and good personality. And we see the next hipster girl, Sonia. Sonia is also an Indian American. She's more shy than Priya. I feel like Priya is more shy, but Sonia actually is more. She's more about the latest trends in fashion, along with her best friend Priya. They're both sweet and kind. And then this guy right here, he'd make all the girls blush. Travis. He has an amazing name too. Travis is my guy. He's an emo homie. My emo homie. He's very flirty and outgoing. And he's also, for a guy like him, he can also be highly emotional because emos usually cry in quotes. But he's not that person who actually cries literally. He cries of like tears of joy maybe. He's a philanthropy type person too, and he always wants to help people who are in need, such as homeless people or people who are low income. So, this is your favorite student. If you were to say who's your favorite student out of everyone you've seen, you'd probably say Travis. He's a poet and he loves being creative about it. And emotional poems too, to make him look like this. So, when he's showing emotions, I mean, he cries briefly, but emos are usually like that. Other than that, he's a very happy human being. Travis, you're amazing. And then we see Nancy, a class clown, and she's the one who dates Jimmy. So they ended up with a mutual relationship with one another. They texted each other on social media or like a blog. And then they eventually found their couple and they eventually are dating each other. One of the more unique couples we've seen at my school. She's a funny girl who likes to make others giggle. At least, most of them. As she has gotten in trouble in the past for her clownish behavior. And then the hip hop guys, such as Devontae. Devontae is a cool looking hip hop guy too. He's an enthusiastic, talented young rapper with big dreams of becoming a hip hop star. And his best friend is Curtis, his fellow rapper. And he can rap anything that comes into his mind. He did a rap battle one time against the great Isabella Jimenez, aka Dizzy, when he and Curtis were rapping. When he and Curtis were like rapping, they were taking it to the next level. Here's Curtis. He's another African American, even though he looks mostly white. He's technically African American. He's very outgoing, a very nice, enthusiastic rapper. He's as good as his closest friend Devontae. Now, from my perspective, rapping is hard. It's hard. So, when I do it in front of people, it's just, I sweat and I don't know what to say, etc., etc. So yeah, as I said, they battled against Dizzy Jimenez and they took it to the next level. And then today, I actually admitted Blake. He's a country guy. He's a heartwarming country guy who's always willing to bring the smiles out of everyone. And he's always there to party. He has a country accent too. He's like that guy with the accents. But he's sweet. And he has a big heart. This guy has a big heart. He was raised on a farm with cows and sheep, and the animals loved him because they know how much of a friendly guy he is. He has moved now to the urbanized Los Angeles to get his education at my school, after living his entire life in rural regions where he went to elementary and middle school, where there weren't even many people. So his social skills boosted even higher here. Now we have one of my most favorite students at the school. She's a cool girl. She's the definition of a cool girl. Amanda, you are just blushing me. She's a passion for, she basically wears sandals all the time because she's a surfer girl. She's a surfer girl, and her sister is actually Miranda. We saw Miranda earlier. She's an actress. Unlike Miranda, who's very highly emotional and cries every time she thinks of horrendous thoughts, Amanda, she's a brave and courageous soul. A shark will look at her and think, oh man, I can't mess with her. She's amazing. Or something like that. I don't know. And she's also very outgoing and very friendly too. That's what matters, the personality. She has an amazing personality. I like Amanda. She's amazing. And the other surfer girl, Madison. she dates Buddy, a basketball superstar. I think I said that earlier. Buddy dates a surfer girl. This is the surfer girl Buddy dates. She's a sweet, talented surfer girl with an amazing attitude, just like Buddy, who has a very good sportsmanship mentality. And her best friend is Amanda, and she would do anything for her to keep the friendship going. They'd match clothes, flip flops, colors, and do the same surf moves, maybe. Now, let's move on to class presidents. I think I showed you Elena earlier. Now, Elena, I actually made here. She is one of the most important students at my school. She's pretty looking. She's smart, she's pretty looking, and she's everything a student is made for. She's one of the top students at my school. She's an American of Puerto Rican descent. She's kind, sweet, caring, and she's in charge of the clubs at my school. She's the main class president. She's a very, very important student. If I was to sell her, I'd be so sad. And she dates Julian. As we see here, this is Elena with her non. I think that is a president fit. I don't know. I don't think I have that shirts. And then there's Julian with his jock fits. And she's the very first president type student to be admitted. The first and never to be the last. So, Elena, you are amazing. And here she is signing clipboards. Signing a paper on a clipboard. It's like a checklist. Yeah, you know what I mean. One of the more successful students at my school. But you can't just say Elena is successful. Everyone is successful at my school. But Elena is just one of the more notable ones. She's a very popular one at my school. And here we are with Ramin. Ramin's a varsity. He's a Persian, Dutch, American. He's ever so slightly Dutch. He's mostly Persian, but he has an American accent. He's an athletic six-pack track and field water polo player. And he's a very kind-hearted guy, too. I have a friend in real life. His name's also Ramin. He plays water polo, too. And he dates Kimia, another jock girl. And he won a championship for water polo in his previous high school, Hearst High. But ever since that idiot Max and Kara dictated the school, Ramin said, "I'm done." And he went to a school with another Persian just like him, me, in charge of the school. Now he's in charge of a sports club at Arya school, as Elena verified Ramin, and now Ramin's part of the club. Elena's basically the one who's in charge of like all the clubs at the school. So yeah, she's so important. Ramin is so important in jock clubs, I would say. Varsity, basically. And then we have Jerry. For all you anime lovers, Jerry's your guy. He is very outgoing and he loves meeting new people. His closest anime-liking friend, Sakura, sometimes pisses him off when she gets too overcompetitive. Because you know how Sakura is. If you play High School Story, Sakura is very short-tempered, and she can really take competition to the next level. And he's the main guy for anime at the school. I may not be an anime person, but some of the students, specifically the ones who are Asian descent, they're a fan of it for sure. Then we have Justin. Justin is a yearbook club manager. He's also a very important student, just like the previous three you saw. He's a very kind-hearted guy, too. All of the students at my school are kind-hearted, so that's why this school's the best. Hearst High sucks. And he's in charge of every year's school yearbook design. So basically, he's the one who's basically thinking about the ideas to design the yearbook. So, tip my hat off to Justin. He's a Spanish-American, and this year, he's going to make a yearbook with the cover of my face, along with Julian, Autumn, Nishan, and Peyton. And the very first main character. So basically the very first main character, jock, artist, nerd, and prep to be admitted. And I'm included as well. So thank you, Justin. Then you have Peter. Peter's the only homecoming student at my school so far. But he's a very important student too. He's an African American and he's actually a smart guy for a homecoming student. He's a smart guy as he's in a nerd hangouts. You could read this fun fact to yourself while I'm reading this personality traits. So he's also that outgoing person who sets up the homecoming parties. Everyone who comes to his homecoming parties always has a good time, especially the party people, the preps. The preps are the ones who usually come to his parties. Stay in your lane, Lane. Lane. What a cool name he has. Lane is a name for a guy. Yes, that is a name. Don't tell me it's not a name. Lane, he's a sweet prom guy. So we're looking at Prom Guys right now. And he's always ready for a party. Now, there's some history between one of their friends besides Lane and... Lane has a few friends who are prom guys. So Lane, along with Troy. Troy is his other friend. We're going to see him in the next slide. They have been best friends ever since they transferred to my school. But they were sad to see their other prom friend, Michael, leave due to the lack of space Arya had. Basically, I had. That's true. I'm running low on space of Hangout storage, and Michael had to leave. There's no choice. I feel bad now after Michael left. I can show you a picture of Michael in the next slide. After Troy, maybe. So here's Troy. Troy is Lane's closest friend, and he dates the leggy blonde girl, Chelsea. The leggy blonde jock girl. So yeah, Troy's lucky to have a girlfriend like Chelsea. And yes, it's probably one of the best and highest ranked couples in my school. So yeah. At least, maybe in my opinion, because I'm in charge of the school, obviously. He's also close with me, and he's in charge of every prom party that's at the high school. His closest friend, though, is Lane, his assistant prom guy. Michael, another prom guy, who's also close with them, unfortunately had to leave. So here's a picture of Michael right here. Here's like a B-roll footage of him. And he's gone. So that was Michael. So Michael basically had to leave because there was no storage left. I had to sell 3 students, one of them including Michael, in order to free up space for incoming students. So, we reached the ending. Congratulations. You just saw a total of 94 students. 94. Are you mind blown? Maybe, maybe not. Yes, I've made a lot of progress in this game. 94 students. That is pretty good for good progress. As maybe more will come as I level up in the game. So, with my final remarks, after this long presentation, I didn't think it would last this long. But, thank you guys for watching. Over here we have some interesting content, and over here we have some more interesting content. Maybe another presentation you'd enjoy. And my channel will be popping up in the middle. So, with my final remark, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Subscribe the channel, please. I highly recommend you play High School Story. It's so addicting.